March 16, 2022 on FanHub TF, you're watching the Running Report Show. I'm Joshua Potts, he's Aaron Potts, and we're here
to give you running news presented for and by the culture.
Man, let's get into it, bro. This past weekend, we had a lot of fire stuff going on indoors. First off, the NCAA championships, it was hot. And we got somebody that had a super big upset, had people stirring and talking. Melissa Jefferson of Coastal Carolina is joining us on the show shortly. And then Newbury Park, and also Flower Mound Girls in the 4x mile destroyed the national record. So we gotta talk about that as well. And then we always got our bell lap question, a question that comes from you guys in our with 1 lap to go. I'm super excited for this week. Aaron, let's just get into it. We got 4 topics, 4 questions, 4 laps to go. Let's get it. With 4 laps to go, let's start off where it was super hot this weekend. I'm talking about Birmingham, Alabama at the NCAA Indoor Championships. It was going crazy, Aaron. We saw a whole bunch we saw world leading times. We saw NCAA records. We saw people going out with missions trying to get the Bowerman this year, Aaron. But I got to go to you, bro. You're SupaHot, Potts. You know what's hot. You know what's hot's going around. So let me know. Tell me what's hot from NCAA indoors that we need to tell about. Tell the people what's super hot.
It was super hot fire at NCAAs, and there were some super hot fire performances. And I gotta start off with our first guest ever on the Two Black Runners podcast. Shameless plug. Abdi Hamid goes out there, wins the 5K and the 3K. Sets a little record doing it. So running 13:19 in that 5K. Honestly, low-key dominating that race at the end, and then coming in at that tactical 3K and winning that as well. A double champ. Not many people do that, bro. You don't hear about that happening all the time in the 5K and the 3K. That is a hard feat to do. But on top of that, NAU end up taking 4th, which is Abdi Hamid, Nico Young, and Drew Bosley. So it's telling you, man, we've been like, oh, are they just a cross-country team? No, they're just like Oregon. They could come out here, they could dominate the distances, and Abdi Hamid led the way. Another guy on the mid-distance, on the mid-distance side, our boy Brandon Miller in that 800. Taking home the W. Now, it wasn't a fast time. It was a slow tactical race, but he ended up still taking over that second half, getting the W, running 147. But don't forget, this guy won the 4x4. He ran 145 too earlier this year, one of the fastest times ever in collegiate history. So like when he said,
when the 4x4, bro, he was moving in the 4x4.
And he said he all in this year. He's going for the Bowerman. He's claiming it, and you gotta get championships to get that. You gotta get championships. On my women's side, we had some super hot fights. Yes, sir. And we're gonna start off with Jasmine Moore. Wins the triple jump and the long jump. You know, she was just at the Olympics last year. Now she comes back NCAA, and she's like, yo, let's do this, ladies. Let's go get a championship. Gets 20 points for her team, and in the process, she breaks her own collegiate record in the triple jump. And you know what this is? Let's talk about Florida. Mike Holloway. We remember the years there with Grant Holloway, how great this dude is as a coach, man. Let's give him his flowers. This is his 10th national championship. Now, we know Florida, that's a big school in the ACC.
They nice.
But
they nice.
10 track titles, that's more than any coach at Florida. So what they're doing down there is amazing, and Jasmine Moore led the way winning that triple jump and the long jump, and like she was an Olympian last year. So sponsors, you know they chopping at the bits, but you know who the sponsors also chopping at the bit for? Abby Steiner.
Most definitely.
Come on, man.
Most definitely.
Come on, man. 22.6 this weekend in the 200. She ran 22.09 earlier this year. You know, just second fastest ever indoors. What happened last year? She got hurt. She got hurt after indoors last year. Couldn't run outdoor. So we didn't get to see how much of a contender she really was. You know what I mean? Again, just like Brandon Miller, this is leading to the outdoors, making her case for the Bowerman, but also for her, let's see, she's making her case to be on the world team. How great is she gonna be when she's up against someone like Gabby Thomas? That's what I'm excited to see, because all these people I just mentioned, they super hot, boy. They super hot, and I think that fire gonna stay lit, I'm sure.
But one person that you missed, and I feel like a lot of people aren't saying going to be super hot because she didn't win a championship, bro. Caitlin Tui. I'm super happy for Caitlin Tui, because anytime that somebody's a phenom, like in high school, and one like labeled as one of the greatest high school runners of all time, people on Let's Run forums are always like, oh, they're gonna burn out, they're gonna this. Like, and she didn't have like the best like first year there at NC State, but to come out and get second in the 3K and the 5K, Caitlin Tui's here. That's a scary sight, bro. That's a scary sight.
She honestly don't get the love that Nico get. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. At least in the college level, because she was nice like across country. She did. They expect her to, because she was so dominant. It's like they expect her to win. But like you said, just wait until outdoors. It's not till next year. It's like just outdoors. She's right there. She's here.
Yeah, Caitlin Tui's there. I'm super happy for you, Caitlin. Super happy. The Paz brothers. We support you, Caitlin Tui. Excited for what you're gonna do next. And this next person that we come on Runner Report show with this interview, we are super excited for. Had a great interview. You're gonna enjoy her. Melissa Jefferson of Coastal Carolina, with 3 laps to go, to talk about her upsetting a crazy field at the NCAA championships in the 60. All right, with 3 laps to go, we are now joined by Melissa Jefferson, the 2022 NCAA indoor champion in the 60, 7.09. Let that settle in. Number 7 in the world this year, number 6 or 7 all-time in NCAA history in D1. Melissa went out there and killed it, and she's joining us on the Runner Report show this week, bruh. I'm so happy, Melissa, for you to be with us and you just come on, like, definitely to share your time. You just had a really great race, a great weekend. Just how are you kind of like feeling? And thank you for joining us. I really do appreciate this so much.
Thank you for having me first. And I really feel like it still hasn't set in yet. Like, I'm still just living in the moment, I guess.
I was gonna say I understand, but I really don't. I don't understand what it feels like to be a national champion. That's a big deal. Like, how did it feel like just coming back to CCU over this? I think you were just saying you came in last night. How did it feel to come in? I seen on like your story, you're greeted by some your friends and like some of your family with posters and everything. How was that feeling, like that little homecoming you kind of had?
Oh, that meant everything to me. You know, just being out there. I was the only one to make it from my school, but I told my team before I left, you know, like, I really appreciated how much they support me and things. And, you know, just because even though it's only me that qualified, you know, that it was for all of us, and that not just for my teammates, but it was for everyone here back home too.
Yeah, I really feel like too, when you definitely have like that one athlete go, like no matter what, everybody at home, like they're part of your story. Like this part and like this chapter that you wrote with this incredible win, like they're part of your story. And plus, going off of that, like the only person from your team, this is the first person from Coastal Carolina to go to NCAA indoors since 2013. What did that kind of mean for you, being that Coastal Carolina is not the regular school, it's more like a mid-major in a sense?
For me, it's just a testament to, you know, how hard we work, or how hard I work as an athlete, and then how hard you know, our coaches push us each and every day in practice to be a better person, and not to look at, you know, the odds that are against you all the time. Just taking advantage of being out there and being able to get out there and get after every day. It means a lot.
Yeah, I feel that, and that the odds were, well, people coming in, the odds were definitely looking like they were stacked against you, at least not to be the national champion. But in the prelim, like, you showed out. 7.10, you PR'd by about 12 milliseconds on that, 12 tenths of a second. Just what was going into that first prelim was the mission, I'm gonna try and run 7.710 or under? Was that the mission going into it, and did you see that coming to fruition even before you went into the race?
Honestly, no. If I'm being honest, I kind of shorted myself. I thought that I'd run at least, you know, or finish out the week running 7:16. But my mindset going into the prelims, I made it to outdoor nationals last year, and I remember everybody being so proud of me, which I was really grateful for, because coming from like you said, a mid-major, it's not, you don't really get a lot of attention, or a lot of people don't really see what you're doing and the progress that you're making.
Yeah.
And so when I went to outdoor nationals, my goal was to make it to finals day, and I didn't. And after I ran the 100 and the 200, I literally sat down and I shed my emotions, I let it out, and I was upset with myself because I felt like, not that I was a failure or anything, but it's just like I didn't complete the goal that I came here to do. And so making it to indoor nationals, of course, we all know this is like one of the hardest meets to make it to in NCAA and well, really in the world. And so for me, I just kept telling myself, like this wasn't going to be a replay of how I felt after outdoor nationals. I know what it felt like, and I don't ever want to feel like that again. So me coming in, I just basically focused on, what I knew that I needed to do. And I knew I had to get out, like my life depended on it if I wanted a chance at making it to the finals. So that's really how it started out.
I feel that. And to bring that down to like my level, I remember when I was running like Junior Olympics and everything like that, I was all like, bro, in the first day of this meet, like it don't really matter if I just want to get to the final, like I'm just going to PR right here. Like who cares? Like I can come back and double back and run a good performance the next day. And like, that's exactly what you did too, even better on what you did on that 7.09 going into that race. And we have people like, and just like you weren't the only person that had a really good performance in that prelim too. Like there was a lot of pressure and just a lot of competition going into it. After you ran that prelim race, were you thinking like, I have a potential, I can win this race? And was that really like your mentality going into the final that day?
Well, so once I got out and I saw that I was like in front, I was like, oh shoot, like I can really do this. And so, at that point you're like, you don't panic, you stick to the plan, because, the last thing I need to do is panic. And, that's when things start going wrong, because not to mention I had the former collegiate record holder in lane 1, and then I had Abby Steiner right next to me, and they are both really good at what they do. And big props to them, because being at this meet, it's the best of the best. And I was just thrilled and excited and happy that I finally got a chance to, show that, I can roll with the big dogs too.
Hey, I like that. And then going off of that too, though, like last year, I believe, was your PR in the 60 last year was like 7.4, if I'm
7:41.
7:41. So like going in, what was really the big change in your training, or was it in your mindset that really you think helped you get under 7:10?
Yeah. So I pride myself in this. I've always been, or I am, a very humble person. I don't take nothing for granted. I give God his glory, because without him, I wouldn't be here. And so I've never been the one to gloat about how I do things and whatnot. And so last year at Sunbelt Conference Championships, I went into the conference meet with the top seeded time in the 60. And so we made it through prelims. Of course, I came out with the top time. And then we got to the finals and I lost. And that was the first time in my life I felt like it was like, I never said, like I said, I'm not no gloater or no, prideful person, but in my mind, I was not supposed to lose that race. And because I got beside myself and because I panicked, the girl next to me, she got out on me and I didn't recover very well. And so I ended up losing the race. And that right there set a fire in me, like, okay, well, this won't happen again. So after that meet right there indoor, I worked hard. I went back to Coastal Carolina and I was training hard every single day. I was doing workouts and my coach was like, he saw me tap into another level like he's never seen me before. And not saying that I haven't been, working hard, but it was just like I had a different hunger about me. And so, but when we got to conference, it was just execute, do what you can do, and go out there and get what you deserve, right? And so once that happened, the times come with that. I realized this, a lot of people say, did you see 7:10 come in and things like that? I've learned, my coach has told me this and someone else has told me this too. They always said, don't worry about the time so much, but more so about the execution. And the more you focus on the execution, the time will come with it and more. So, having that was, basically a thrive, or not a thrive, but a motivation for me.
Real quick before we get you out of here, like, what are your goals going into this outdoor season? I know we got NCAAs, we probably got some big meets Sun Belt like conference coming up, and big meets along the way. Then we even got Worlds in Eugene. Like, I'm just like, that definitely has to be on the outlook. But what are some of your goals, and what are you looking forward to this outdoor season?
Of course, one of the goals this year, is to make it to NCAAs again, but make the finals and hopefully come out with the win, but not just in the 100, in the 200 as well. And, I'm not the only dog on my team. We got a lot of dogs down here at Coastal Carolina. So hopefully I'll be there for the 4x1 too.
Yeah, I like it. I'm happy for you, Melissa. I'm excited for your future. And Running Report over here, we fans. We definitely fans. My brother Aaron, he on the show with us today too. We definitely fans, and we're gonna be rooting for you going forward. Appreciate you coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Now, with 2 laps to go, we got to talk about from this past weekend all the national championships that were happening in the high school ranks. We had Nike Indoor Nationals happening at Ocean Breeze in Staten Island, and then we had New Balance Nationals happening at the same time in the Armory in New York. We saw amazing performances. First off, and the number one thing that we were waiting for was Newbury Park, 16:29 in the 4x mile. We were expecting them going out there and dominate the national record, destroy the national record in the 4x mile. People were saying they're going to break 16, that they're all going to run under 4 minutes, but we had a 4:11, 4:06, 4:07, the Colin Salmon, ending it with a 4:03 for the Newbury Park Boys to shatter the national record in the 4x mile. But I'm going to say something, Aaron, right now, and a lot of high school boys and girls are gonna be very mad at me who run cross country. Very mad, but don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Actually, you can't be mad at me. Go on my mentions. Go on my mentions, because what Flower Mound did, these girls this past weekend in the 4x mile was more impressive than Newbury Park at New Balance Nationals. I'm gonna say that straight up. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm gonna say that. Flower Mound also went out there, broke the national record in the 4x mile for the girls after Saratoga Springs the day before broke the national record at Nike Indoor Nationals. So the day before, Saratoga Springs went out there and they ran 19:49, all girls under 5 minutes. Then the next day, New Balance Nationals went out there and ran 19:37 in the 4x mile with a 4:56, 5:01, 4:56, and a 4:43, Aaron. That was more impressive. I'm sorry. 4:43 by Natalie Cook. She's dominating, Aaron. Dominating.
We can't forget about Natalie Cook running 9:44 indoors.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, that promotes me though, because I'm looking at, as a whole, Newbury Park, they went out there and they dominated. We expected that, and like, they ran a fire performance. But I'm just all like, she ran 9:44.44. The fact that she got 4:4.44, like, wait, was she up with Jay-Z the day before?
That's what I'm saying.
What I mean?
Yeah,
she had
in New York too.
New York energy,
and she did hit New York. That's crazy, bruh.
That's what I'm just saying, and that's number 2 all time to Mary Kane as well. And just for her to be in this position and rallying around her team, we had a freshman on her team run a 5:01. They needed someone to go under 5. She ran 5:01, was right there for the freshman record. In the Newbury Park, they ran some individual events, but like,
Cade Flatt said he had a Newbury banana smoothie for breakfast going into the 800. And it looked like he did. He said he wanted to bring them out and put pain in their heart. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to. Newbury Park was kind of hee ha ha, having a good time. And Cade Flatt, that man wasn't playing games.
Crazy to see how fast high school track is right now, because Newbury Park, the attention is obviously on them, and they rightfully deserve it.
Yeah, man. And as you said, high school is insane right now. We have Newbury Park. We got the Cade Flats of the world running 1:48. And then we got the Natalie Cooks. There's so many things we could talk about. We don't want to get caught up on just Newbury Park. And that's what's amazing about track and field, is that there's so many amazing performances to talk about that are relevant for sure.
Yeah, so you guys don't go crazy in my mentions, bro. I'm sorry. Flower Mound was more impressive than Newbury Park this past weekend. Newbury Park was number 2. And then we had my girls, Juliet Whitaker, going out there 437. I have to shout that
437.
out too.
Sheesh.
Hey, Sadie Englehart, also 437 freshman, Ventura, California. I'm just saying.
Crazy.
Hey, but great job out there. All the high schoolers, y'all dominated.
Wait, she
Great
ran
job.
437?
But let's go into our bell lap question. This is our question that usually comes from you with 1 lap to go. And this week we have a question that comes from you from Instagram. We have Brandon Deemers went out there and asked us, are these super powerful teams like Bowerman and their time trials good for the sport? So I'm assuming he's talking about the Bowerman time trials that happened like 2 years ago during like the COVID times, but now he's really talking about like the 10, because the 10 was kind of set up for Bowerman, had the lights, they went out there, they dominated and everything. But I feel like if we're gonna bring in like these super powerful time trials, we have to also talk about like in running team when they had like world record day with Joshua Cheptegei and Letesapet Gade in Valencia, when they went out there and broke the 5K world records and 10K world records. And then I think we also have to talk about in running teams like sub 2 attempts. That was just a powerful time trial that they did, and Eli Choge went under two hours in the marathon. So I gotta ask you, Aaron, prompt the question to you: are these time trials bad for the sport?
No, I don't believe that they're bad for the sport. I think there's a time and place for everything, and there's different strategies that different teams uses. As we said, I mean, as we talked about on our podcast with Jeff, you know, like Pete Julian, how he develops his team. He was like, he wanted to put them in a scenario where they were competing and racing against all these other people and still smashing records. Bowerman, I mean, they race each other, but they want to be in these scenarios where they can go really test their fitness at this time. So, you know, different strokes for different folks. You know what I'm saying?
I think too, only thing it's really bad for is like, it just raises the standard. But that's also a good thing too, because it raises the standard for that if you weren't there before, that you have to run faster. So it's gonna be harder for you to get there. But then like if you're in like this race, and especially like for the 10, sort of going there and expecting to run super duper fast at these meets, I think is necessary, and definitely gonna have people that go in there too. It's just like when in Diamond League you go run in Monaco, you know, like you're expected to go run super duper fast. And I feel like that's what they set up here in the US with Bowerman. And like, I love to see that. That's why I love the fact that there's people at the Sound Running meets actually watching and attending, because like we finally get to see these crazy times on US soil, and that brings excitement to track and field in the US.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad for the sport.
Most definitely, man. I appreciate you. We appreciate you coming on, Aaron. We appreciate you, all of y'all listening and watching the Running Report show, man. If you have any disagreements with us, bro, comment down below what you think. Like, we really want to hear from you and have a discussion down below. Maybe start like a forum on the FanHub TF if that's where you're watching. And if you are watching for FanHub TF, you doing the right thing. Go out and check out all the other stuff that's going around at fanhubtf.com this week here on March 16th, my birthday as well. So if you want to comment happy birthday, that's cool as well. But hey, let's get out of here, Aaron. We'll see y'all next week on Wednesday, and we give you more running news produced for and by the culture. Let's get it.
Yes, sir.